Alright, so streaming's on. I'm going to go ahead and take the webinar live. It'll be on a hold screen for just a second. We'll let some people come in, and then I'll roll the whatchamacallit whenever I'm ready. And then once it's done, once y'all see y'all's faces come back up like how it is now, where both of you are there, y'all can take off. And then I'll bring up the deck in transition. Anybody got any questions?
You know, if you're streaming right now, this is all on YouTube, you talking.
I know. Okay. I'm going to cut it off. Here we go.
Hello, hello. Happy Friday. I think it's Friday. It's Friday.
It's
Hi,
Friday.
Victoria.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. We are here, having survived post Aesthetic Next Virtual 2020, and we're back for more video. I don't know what we're thinking, but here we are. We have done a lot of work in the past, 2 to 3 weeks, a lot of new features and things happening with Aesthetic Record. So I wanted to do a quick roundup today to kind of walk you through, I think it's a top 10 list that we're going to show today, and also just give you an idea of some things that are upcoming and just some customer support help that you might want to take advantage of. But we've got an action-packed webinar in store today. So we're going to go ahead, I think, if you're ready, Victoria, and get started. I don't even know what time it is. Let's see. Oh, we're right.
It's 4:03.
We have 1 more minute.
Or 3:03 where you are, yeah.
And I can't see who's on, and I can't see any questions, so hopefully you can help me with that.
I've got it. I can see it, yep.
Perfect. Well, I think we can go ahead. I'm going to just go through at a high level on my side of the story here, a quick hit list of those 10 features, and then we'll go transition into Victoria showing us the system and how these things actually work in real life and be able to hopefully play around with them and get an idea of where they live. So I'll just go ahead and jump right in. And Victoria, if you think about things you want to add here, just shout them out as usual.
I will.
Okay, so we've got a couple things that you guys have been asking for quite a while that are really popular, and a few things that you may not even know you need, but that you now have. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is being able to uncheck a checked-in client. And I know, Victoria, that your team has experience with this on the chat support side, but basically in historical AR, once you checked a patient in, it grays out their appointment card, and they're in the system as a checked-in client who's there that day. But people make mistakes, and they put the wrong person in, they check in the wrong client, maybe they meant to cancel it and they hit check-in instead, and so at that point you're sort of, you're kind of at a loss. But now you can just hit the little green button that you see here and unclick the check-in. So you can make them now, again, not checked in quite yet. So you may not even know you needed it, but it does happen, and it's a nice little fail-safe for you in case you make an oopsie on your check-in. Anything you want to add there, Victoria?
Yeah, I do. So the other thing with that is, as we think about charging those no-show or cancellation fees, that's why a big reason why this was developed, because in the old state, if we mark it, as checked in, we were not able to mark it as a no-show or cancel and actually charge that fee. So now you have the ability to utilize that. So very good.
And you want to get that money because it's wasted time. And we'll obviously show you how to do this in the system in just a second. But the next thing is that you can now vary your booking lead time. So this has been a big one for us. If you have an online booking portal, which hopefully you do, if not, let us help you get that going. But you might want a patient to have to wait or have a 24-hour lead time so that you can understand on Monday night what you have coming on Tuesday, or even more of a lead time. So we always had the online booking where you had a specific lead time that you could choose. What happened, though, is in the clinic, it would impact your clinic ability to also book because you had the same lead time enforced for both in-clinic booking and online booking. Well, now that's set up where you can do it differently. So you can have a lead time for your online booking, but you can just book whenever you want. And the in-clinic booking is basically your practice booking for the patient inside of your portal. So it's helpful for you guys that have a last-minute patient calling in and they want to get booked right then. No worry about lead times anymore. So it's going to be a big help. And we have another feature we've just scoped recently that might help you guys who are looking to be able to book outside of the scheduled times. But I won't tell you too much about that. But I just approved a development plan to be able to book outside of the scheduled times. But for now, at least you have your lead time fixes for immediate booking inside the clinic. And of course, we'll show you where to go online and get that and change it on your booking portal inside of your settings wizard on the appointments tab. Anything else, my dear, that you want to add?
No.
Okay, these are hopefully pretty easy. This one is a bit contentious though. As we get to this first available, this is the conundrum. So we have the ability in our system to let a person just pick the first available. They don't know who the provider is, they just choose the first available. So you see that here, where they can just book with the first person who has an opening. And if you think about this logically speaking from a patient perspective, typically a first available is to book quickly. I want to book tomorrow, ASAP, this week. So you have a 14-day window in which our system can go through all the providers in your particular scheduling software and can decide who's first available. If it's outside of the 14-day window, it has to be a provider. You choose a provider and you can go look at a month in or 2 months in or however long you want to. But the first available specifically is a 14-day window. We've talked about changing that a bit, but at least for now, a patient can just pick the first available without having to do anything additionally. So it's a nice little feature to have if you want to turn that on. I will show you how to get that turned on inside the system as well. It's good for your last minute, folks. Anything you want to add with this?
So when we get actually inside of aesthetic record, we'll show you, we did add a nice little text. There was a little bit of confusion before of like, how long does book with first available actually show? So like Tiffany said, it is just 14 days, but there is a text now that will show that says, please note if you'd like to get, later availability, please select a provider, but we'll show you guys what that looks like. But it's been helpful from the patient perspective to have that verbiage listed on the screen.
And then this one is what you never knew you needed, but you totally do. So we have people who do like a founder's membership or a certain VIP during a certain part of the year. And they have these memberships that they want to be able to run all year long. But what was happening is inside the patient portal, if you had them turned on, they were all turned on. So you couldn't delineate which ones to show and which ones to hide. So the example being a founder's membership. In the first 30 days of your practice being open, you had a founder's promo for $100 a month. Once that 30 days is over, you have to keep the membership open, but you don't want to sell it to anybody else. And so now you have the ability to hide these from the patient portal. So the membership plan stays active, but you can hide the ability for someone to enroll themselves in it inside the portal. So you get to, in a sense, have control over who gets to enroll and who doesn't get to enroll. So it's almost like a visibility, like an invisibility cloak if you're a Harry Potter fan, that you can just turn it off, but it's still there, still 100% functional, it's just not shown to the public. And we can show you how to get that turned on and off as well. So if you're doing lots of membership types, it's very helpful as well if you want to do multiple different kinds. So we'll show you that too. And then our biggie, this is Victoria's hot button. She's been praying for this report for quite some. We both have our favorites of this 10 list, and this might be her favorites. I'm gonna let you take this one because you love it so much.
Yeah. So when we think about whether it's calculating commissions or just looking at where providers stand sales-wise, it was a little bit of a gray area before on retail because retail and services were lumped into one category or one sales report, if you will. Now, the benefit that we have here is our retail report. So as you pull these reports, you'll notice here, I've got a lot of screens up, so let me maximize this. But as you create this report, you will be able to do it based off of a product, and then you can click view details. And if Tiffany and I both sold skincare today, for example, our names would then be listed by that. So we'll show you what that actually looks like inside of Aesthetic Record, but it'll have all of your particular sales metrics listed out per product. So very comprehensive report for you to review.
And also very helpful if you're doing your inventory reconciliation and you're like, wait a minute, I know that we sold this Skin Medica thing and I can't find it. You can look here quickly to see if it was actually reported and sold through in the system or not. Because if it were, it would show up here. So very helpful. And then this is one that Victoria and I both love so incredibly dearly, the discount report. So many of you have begged for this, and we have been begging for it from our tech team as well. But if you were giving discounts, you may have noticed that in the discount reporting fields anywhere in the system, it was kind of a generic item discount. And so although the invoice, we were able to fix the invoice a while back to show the discount type, it didn't show up in the system. So now I'll be able to show you when we go into AR where on the sales summary page, you get the exact discount listed out, but also in the discount report. So there's no more trying to guess which one it is. It's now, you see here on this example, friends and family, custom discount, 20% discount. It's now specifically spelled out for you, so there's no more guessing. So that'll be a big relief for many of you who have had your accountants calling us saying, we can't figure out what this is. Now you can. And then my report that's my most favorite is our booked percentage by provider. So we were able to, many moons ago, provide to you a booked percentage by provider number that had like a nice little donut chart on it and just had some like little fun information that really wasn't all that helpful for you, the way it was really listed out. Now you can look at your entire clinic by provider and stack rank them, or look at your overall booking percentages. So if you're a compensation modeler, I love to build compensation plans. As far as a productivity report, you can see all the people here in one fell swoop, all listed out by their percentage booked. And then if you go into each provider specifically, you can look at, for their particular provider name, their overall percentage booked and the types of things that they're booked for in the portal. So it just allows you to not have to go to each provider and pull the report up individually. It's all kind of in one sort of hit list, if you will. And then our two-way texting. So we'll give you more of this when we get into the system, but if you're not currently on the accelerator plan and not using two-way text messaging yet, when you go to open up your two-way text messaging phone number, you'll be able to choose your area code to match. Like for instance, I'm in Dallas, a 214 or an 817, where if you're in Columbus, it's a 614. So it wouldn't be these like random 256 numbers. So you can actually customize it to your area code. And if you already have accelerator plan and already have two-way text messaging, we can actually port your number over to one that matches your area code. You just have to let us know that. You can go to our little chat support window and let us know you want to change it, and we'll get you ported over to, in my case, a 214 number. But it just helps your patients understand it's not this random number, it's a local number, calling in or texting them, so you can get that changed. And two-way text messaging in general, if you're not using it, you should, because it makes your life a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
And then our quick pay. Victoria, I'll let you take this one too, because I know you've been really, really involved in the build out of this particular feature.
Yeah, definitely. So as far as the quick pay option, so when we say quick pay, that's what we call it internally because it's just a little bit easier to remember. But when you're taking payments, you have your take a payment button directly from a procedure. That's way number one. That's the way you should pretty much be doing it all the time. But there are those cases where a patient may walk in and buy retail, or you're having an event and they're prepaying for services. So when you're on the app, you'll be able to click your blue icon at the bottom. You'll click the credit card. That's the quick pay option. So with that being said, any services that you actually add into the cart at this time, you have the ability to send it straight to the patient wallet. So whereas before, if you were having an event and they were prepaying for Botox, for example, we'd have to take the payment, then manually go to the wallet and actually add that in. So with this new way, the way that it will work is that you add your Botox into the cart and it sends it automatically to the wallet. So this updates your sales reports as wallet credits, but it also saves you time because just once again, you're not manually going in and actually adding that, into the wallet. So we're excited to show you guys that live.
And just in time for event season. And then a couple
Mm-hmm.
things, these last two pieces here are just some quick housekeeping as we get Victoria ready to transition to the actual AR screens. But if you are in your portal and you want to chat with us and want some information that either contains like a patient data point, so a HIPAA protected data point, or financial information or things about your practice that are a bit more, you don't want publicly broadcasted across your entire organization of your practice, we have in our system a little support pin that gives you, if you see on our screen here, a few little numbers, like a 6-digit code, that when you chat into our system, if the person is wanting to access that kind of information, we're going to ask them for that PIN number, because that lets us know that you've given them access to be able to talk about either financial information with them about your practice or patient information. So there's an ability to turn that user access on inside of your teammates section. So just know that if you happen to chat in and we say, hey, what's the support PIN number for your account? And the person doesn't have it or doesn't know it, can't find it, or doesn't have access to it, we're not going to be able to share with them patient information that's private, that kind of HIPAA stuff, or financial information. So it's to protect you as a practice so that we don't tell the wrong person the wrong thing that ends up hurting you inadvertently. So, and then the last thing I'll say before we move over is, if you've not checked it out yet, we've been doing a tremendous amount of work on our AR Academy. So we now have, I don't know how many videos, lots of videos that are little short micro learnings that are a few minutes each that really cover our entire system from top to bottom that you can go through and look at based on your role. If you're a provider, if you're an admin, if you're front desk, you can see exactly what you need to know. We have some really nice little training manuals as well to tell you what videos kind of correlate with your role. But go to our YouTube channel. There's a lot of really great new stuff there to make it easy for you to get what you want and really, as we say here, in record time, but quickly as you need it. So we're going to move over, I believe, to Victoria's screen and kind of show you some of this stuff in real life so you can get a feel for where it's all at in the system.
We are. I'm like losing it. I forgot I've got to log into our development account. So logging in there right now.
Well, while you're doing that,
so we can go through unchecking.
I'm wearing a super cute shirt from Shop Aesthetically Speaking. They're one of our AR customers through Selfie Aesthetics, but also one of our sponsors at our conference. So shameless plug, this adorable little shirt.
It's so cute.
I know, it's so cute. But they've got a few more left. They're changing out their inventory, I think, for the season. So if you want one, go get it now before they're all gone. Anywho, carry on. My apologies.
We're almost there. Okay, so just got to tie a credit card in real quick so that we can actually see unchecking that appointment. And then we'll be ready to rock and roll.
Perfect. And you may have to zoom your screen just a little bit for us to be able to see it.
Okay. I will do that. Alrighty. And then do you see my clone account or my other one?
I can see it. It's a little blurry, but I can see it.
Okay. Let me maximize this up here.
We had a chat about when things
okay.
are live. These things are all live right now. So whoever just asked us, they are live today, right now.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and open up this appointment card, and then hopefully my screen's a little bigger now.
We may have to take you.
All right, so
take you full screen if we can, Victoria, and make you just the whole screen.
Yeah.
Just your AR screen.
Okay, is JT getting that?
He is.
Okay, perfect.
Hopefully you guys can see that.
And then you're fully maximized on my computer screen too, so is it any better?
It's okay.
Well, good news is if this is a little bit blurry, we do have a very clear YouTube recording that's on YouTube. So we can send that out to everybody as well, but that'll have, if this is a little bit blurry, we've got that too, so. All right, you guys ready for me?
Yeah, we'll make do. If anything, we'll just have you zoom in your screen, whatever area you're at. So if you want to zoom in, you may have to zoom in a little bit here for us to see it. Perfect. That's better.
I'm at 150%. All right, so what we're going to do first is we are going to run through unchecking an appointment in. So I'm going to go ahead and just select an appointment from the screen here. Now, if you guys have not seen this yet, if it's been a while, keep in mind you can mark appointments as confirmed. So that was added in quite a while ago, but just as a little refresher there. And I'm going to go ahead and check this appointment or a patient in. So I'm going to go ahead and enter this. I'm going to complete the check-in. Now, once I check them in, you'll notice that appointment turns gray. So if I'd like to uncheck the appointment, we have this great little green box right here that I can select. And once I uncheck it, it goes right back to that specific provider color on the screen. Now you will notice once I actually uncheck the appointment in, I have the ability to mark as a no-show and cancel that appointment. So if I needed to charge that fee, I have the ability to actually complete that at this time. So if Josh didn't show up, and if you guys are not using cancellation fees yet, highly recommend it. But whether you're canceling or marking as a no-show, if it's within that 24-hour period in this case, I have the ability to go ahead and hit cancel and charge, and then that would take that appointment off the calendar and it charges that patient that fee. And then it goes into their payment history. So just kind of a nice way to utilize that feature, but that's how that works. And let's see here.
And we had a
Let me know
question.
if we have any
Yeah,
questions.
I'm,
Yeah,
I'm watching them. We have actually have a question on here, but also a
good.
question on our Facebook user group. Someone had asked us this earlier this week about, I don't want to charge a cancellation fee. How do I go about not charging it? And if you just saw what with Victoria's screen, she had the chance to either cancel and no charge or cancel and charge. So she has both options there. So you could choose to not cancel or not charge someone. Let's say they had COVID, for instance, and you wanted to cancel but not charge them. It's just an option that you get either way. And then we had a question
That's
asking us
perfect.
about where is the credit card information saved. So at the time of booking, if you're an online booking, the patient would actually put the information in at the time of their online booking. And then if they are an existing patient and they're calling in and their credit card is saved somewhere on file, you can actually attach it to the patient's booking from that perspective as well. Or you could actually get it on the phone and type it in at the time of booking. So either way, as long as the patient gives it to us, either has given it to us before we've saved it or it's somewhere on online booking, the credit card is on file for that patient.
Yep. And for anyone that is new to exploring that cancellation policy, you'll notice on my screen here, if I were booking the appointment, just make sure that you check this box each time. And the best way to think of it is that you're actually enrolling this appointment in the policy rather than, the patient as a fool. So you do have to click this each time. But like Tiffany said, if that card is saved on file, as you noticed with Josh Smith, it pulled through. But if it's not saved on file, you have the ability to enter it in here. So pretty easy.
Perfect.
Alrighty. All right, moving on to the next thing. So we've got lead time for our portal. So to update the lead time, we're going to go to appointments. We'll go to the settings wheel, smart configuration. And we have our booking portal. So for anyone that has never seen this before, you'll notice this is where you get your online booking links as well as your patient portal link. So just figured I'd point that out while we were here. But if you head over to the appointment time settings, here you will notice book with first available, sorry, lead time. Let's see here. So lead time, I'm getting ahead of myself. So if we adjust this, this will now only affect online booking. So keep that in mind, whereas before it affected both platforms of booking essentially. And then while we're here, we'll go ahead and talk about book with first available. So super easy toggle. We can either choose to have it on or choose to have it off. And if you recall that screenshot that Tiffany showed us, we have that book with first available button, and that shows the first 14 days of availability. So if you're finding that your schedule is booked a lot of the time, it's probably a good idea to take that down. If you're trying to kind of ramp up business a little bit, it's good to have it on because once again, it connects that patient with the first day that they're looking for with the first available provider. So that's another option there.
As you're chatting about that, Victoria, one of the things on lead time, just that word may be a little bit, intangible. And lead time for us is the amount of time they have to wait basically between the appointment time and when they can book. So it's almost like you're going backward. If I want to book for tomorrow at 4 o'clock and lead time is 24 hours, I can't book that past today at 4 o'clock. So it basically gives the provider a chance to know what's happening next. So if you run a very tight ship on inventory and on your just-in-time ordering, lead time can be very important for you because it makes sure that you have supplies on your shelf in order to get the patient in and actually treat them. It's also just good for capacity planning, demand planning, and things. So if you're always ready to go and on the hustle 24/7, you may only have an hour lead time. You don't care; it's not important to you. But just remember that lead time. Once you set it, people will ask us well, I can't book within the day. They forget they set it. So if you set it, just remember that you have it in there and you can change it if you ever want to change it.
Perfect. Alrighty, so let's talk about memberships. So to get to your membership settings, you'll click that settings wheel in the top right. We'll go to POS and patient loyalty. Maybe. I'm a little confused here. I've never been zoomed in this far. So as we make our way down, let's look at, so here is an example. So Tiffany touched on it, but we'll talk about it a little bit more. So if you have a founder's membership, Or if you're running a special and you're running a special offering on a membership because it's your grand opening, for example, you could create a membership called grand opening, membership special, whatever the case may be. But maybe you don't want to offer it forever, but you still need to keep those patients enrolled. So you'll notice here, if we choose to have this toggle on or off, that dictates whether the patients can enroll from the patient portal on their own. So we do have a lot of practices that like that functionality to have it turned on, but in the event that you are running that special promotion on a membership, you can always choose to toggle it off. So if I turn it off here, patients will no longer see that patient portal enroll button from the portal. So once we do that, we would just click that save icon, and that's all we have to do. And then we added it in quite a while ago, but while we're here, if you have not added in membership agreements now, this is also a really, really great thing to add in, especially when it comes to disputes. You can add your membership policy. The patient can sign off on that the policy, and then it's tied to their actual profile or their document repository. So if there's ever a mishap or confusion on the agreement, you have that actual signed form of what they agreed to. So.
And I was thinking, Victoria, about a second use case for this founders membership idea is we have a lot of accounts that do like a white glove service with a partner. So I'm just going to use, I don't know, let's use a yoga studio in town, where if you are a member of that yoga studio, you also get a certain promotional deal at a clinic. So they're almost like partnering together. But that needs to be verified with the yoga studio that you're actually an enrolled member of their studio. So this could also be for things like that, where you want to have an exclusive membership that only you're able to validate, or your clinic can validate the person's actually eligible for it. So it's one thing could be timing, a time domain constraint. The other could be the type of patient you want to enroll in it is constrained. So I think it's actually a really nice added benefit. So if you're giving a traditional discount to a local group for some reason, as opposed to giving them the discount every time, put them into the membership program. Then you can actually keep track of it, do some sort of like monthly stipend if you want to. So that would be a way to make some things that are different around discounting that actually comes from a monthly recurring revenue stream versus like a one-off situation. So anywho, you got options there with how you use that.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Well, thank you.
Okie doke. So, so many great ideas. All right, so let's make our way to our retail report. So just as a reminder that this sales section right here is relevant if you're actually processing through aesthetic records. So you do have to have point of sale turned on for that. So just keep that in mind. But if we make our way to business insights, we'll go to sales and we'll scroll on down here. So we have our retail report. And I am going to, my clinic has not been doing so well. So we're going to just sort by, I don't know, this year. Still not selling a whole lot, but all right. So as you can see here, we have our category. So I know a lot of bonus plans or commission plans can be based off of category and goals tied to that. So we have our category, we have how many units we sold, and then subtotal, any discounts that were applied to those specific items will be listed here. And then we have that taxable amount. But if we click on view details over to the right, this will now take us to more of an itemized report where we can see, okay, Sarah Jones, she sold 9 color science items. Here's what it equaled, here's how much she discounted, and then here's the taxable amount. So this is a really, really great itemized report to view your specific providers and then really, their productivity or what they've actually been kind of bringing in. But you do have the ability to also export this to Excel. So pretty much everything inside of Business Insights can be exported to Excel, and you can sort and filter and do all that fun stuff with it. But definitely a great report to take advantage of.
And I think as you go to this
Tiffany,
page
anything?
right here,
Yeah.
looking at this page, thinking about one of the things that Victoria and I spend a lot of time doing is reconciling people's accounts for them, making sure that if things are off by a few dollars here or there, how that makes sense in the system. This is a great way to visually look at your taxable amount and your subtotal compared to your actual like what they actually pay for something. So the example would be we have customers who forget to put taxes on things a lot, or the tax rates change, or some things get taxed and some things got left out. And so you'll see a variance in the amount that the patient paid for something and the taxable amount. So it's just a really good, quick visual that, wait a minute, something must be off in the system because these numbers should be matching and they're not matching. So you can then go into that category and then extrapolate back into your inventory system to say, wait a minute, for color science, these two products must not be taxable because I'm looking at this now and the numbers are wrong. So it's just a really good snapshot visual. You'll see as we go through our system with BI, there's lots of checks and balances along the way to help you kind of uncover where the gaps might be. So this is a good one for that example. Then the second thing I would say is if you're doing any kind of a spiff in your clinic, for whoever sells the most, or if a vendor says, you know, hey, using color science here, we want to, you know, spiff your team for whoever can sell the most lip shines this month or the most total eye, whatever. You can use this kind of report for a lot of those really quick win pieces too, to say, wait a minute, we see here that our number one, you know, color science seller this month was Victoria. So there's really good ways to look at productivity as well in your clinic. But I digress. Carry on.
Very good.
Discount report. Are you guys ready for
Okay,
this?
discount.
Get
Ready.
excited.
We're so excited. Okay, so I will show you guys two places that you can look, but we'll go to the actual main report first. So if we go ahead and click on Lovely Lines here, here is what you will see now, which we're so excited about because as we said before, it just used to show up as item discount, which it's like, what does that actually mean? But now we actually know what it means. So all of our specific discount names here are going to be listed on the left side. We'll see the times that it was applied and then how much monetary value does that discount actually equal. So I'm very excited about this because I know how important it is, you know, when you run promotions or you're having an event to actually see what worked, what didn't work, what should we try again. So I'm very excited about this report. Tiffany, do you have anything else to add
I'm super excited
about it?
too because I am a big advocate that people will often get really pumped about increasing their revenue, but they're crushing their profitability, like killing it. But they're like, we're making so much money. It was like, yeah, but look at all the discounts that you're giving. So I think this report, much like the retail report, is a really good visual snapshot of, it's almost like trend data. So if I see in this month that the 10% off of something was a pretty low number, and next month it's skyrocketed, and it's like this massive number, it helps me to uncover as a practice owner or manager what's changed or what's different. Maybe we have a great Instagram promo that we're running and that's why it's much bigger this month versus last month. But I think it gives you a good idea to say, you know, our profitability as a clinic grew by 10%, but our revenue grew by 50%. Well, that's not such a good metric there because it means you're giving away a lot of discounts in order to get that profitability number at 10%. So where can you start to calibrate things? And this gives you a quick snapshot of what are your most used discounts. So you'll know where you're spending the majority of your freebie money, if you will, as you look at your clinic numbers overall. So for me, any of these things that you have here, these reports, they may not be actionable for you to take an action, but they're always directional for you to think about where your financial direction is for your clinic. So that's why I love it, and because you just got to know where they're coming from. Especially if you're going to give like a promo code to someone or a particular discount, you want to know if it's being used and how much it's being used. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. So that'll be one place. And then, you know, as you guys know, on our sales summary, we do have that little snapshot. So sales summary, and then if we scroll down just a little ways here, you'll notice that we have our daily discount report. And so once again, that shows us what those actual, you know, discounts that we're using are, who the checkout person was, who performed the procedure, and then that discount amount. So.
And I think that right there, to kind of snapshot that piece of it, the provider and the checkout person, not that it would ever happen in anyone's clinic, because I'm sure that everyone is an angel, but I think it is important to know that if a particular provider is constantly giving away the house, constantly extending discounts, or a checkout person is doing it, you can very quickly see here also patterns of behavior to say, wait a minute, the same checkout person is giving discounts. They checked out 8 people today and all 8 got a discount. Like that doesn't make any sense. So if you're looking at productivity, but also your like average sale per ticket or your average ticket per patient, this is a nice way to understand who's discounting more maybe than they should and who's doing things at full price. So another good way to kind of look, again, directionally at your clinic, maybe not actionably, but directionally at your clinic.
Wonderful. Alrighty, so we've got our booked percentage per provider. So you guys will notice this appointments tab right here. You can click on that, and if we hit create report, I am going to do booked appointments per provider. And we'll go ahead and do it for all providers, and we'll do it for year to date. Maybe. There's Jane Doe. Oh, you know what? We're in our test account. Let me go to the other account here.
We have too many accounts.
As we really do. I forgot in that account we don't book. Okay, so we'll go to appointments. We'll try this again and hopefully we'll pull some data. All providers, year to date.
And have
There we
you have to
go.
zoom this screen in for us too,
Okay,
if you don't mind.
good.
Perfect.
All right, wonderful. So, all right, wonderful. So you'll notice here we can pull this report based off of any time frame. You can utilize custom time frames. You'll have your provider name. The percent occupied just means based off of their calendar, how frequently are they booked? And then percent free just means out of their time booked, how often do they have open time slots on the calendar? Now, a couple of things here. So you'll notice if we click on, we'll go to Jane Doe. So we'll hit view details here. It might look a little bit funky when you're on your screen and you're zoomed out at, 100%. You will see the amount of time that they're free, the amount of time that they're actually occupied and a patient is legitimately in the chair, the total appointments, and then you have a breakdown of all of the particular categories that those appointments are coming from. So this is also, and Tiffany will talk a little bit more about it, but when we think about productivity and how we're paying our employees, this is an extremely important report. So Tiffany, you want to blow us away with some knowledge here? I love it. Wonderful. Alrighty, so on to, which I don't know that I'll be able to show two-way texting from this section, but a couple of things here. So when we think about changing that area code, if you're already using two-way texting, this is what it will look like. But if you've never turned two-way texting on, when you get to this screen, it will prompt you to choose a phone number. So when you choose that phone number, you'll be able to search actually by area code now. But like I said, if you are currently using two-way texting and you'd like to get it, switched over to your area code, just chat us. we will take care of that change for you and get it all updated. So that'll be basically our team going on the back end, choosing a phone number with your area code, and then we would get your account switched over. Now, a couple of things if you guys are thinking about, reaching out to us to change those phone numbers. If you have that phone number posted on your website, any social media accounts, inside of your emails or text messages within Aesthetic Record, just make sure that if we switch that phone number over, that you keep that as a to-do to get all that information switched over so that patients are not texting your old phone number because you'll have no way to get those text messages. So as a pre-planning mechanism, just make sure that you kind of put that on your to-do if you plan to transition phone numbers.
And I'm going to jump in again because I love to jump in on the two-way texting. I think it's really underutilized for one, we know card.
Yep, and one other way that you can use two-way texting, if we think about confirmation, so if you wanted to message your patient and say, "Hey, just wanted to verify that you'll be at your appointment tomorrow," they can respond back to that text, and then you can go into your calendar and you hit that little toggle that says appointment confirmed. So another great way to utilize the texting.
Yes, put it in your reminder confirmation for sure. That's a great idea,
Hmm.
Victoria. We should give people 10 points
All
for that.
right, we should. All right, I'm gonna try to get the app pulled up here. So my screen might get small again.
We have lots of technology to work through here. While she's doing that,
Okay,
I will
yeah.
foreshadow for you all, if you are interested in ePrescribe, we're about to have a great big launch for you to be able to do electronically controlled substances and also regular ePrescribe. And it's like legitimate ePrescribe with drug databases, the whole shebang. So look for an ePrescribe announcement coming very soon to get enrolled in that particular part of our system. It's a brand new feature. And then we also have some things coming with processing and some changes to give you more options on that front too. So we've got some major big things. And then we've got an Inventory Variations 2.0 launch coming up in the next few days as well. So I would strap in for the next 2 weeks. And if you see on your system right now, if you were to be in our AR portal, the little blue chat bubble, we have turned back on post-COVID the ability to communicate with you directly from that. So you may have seen today that Nikki had a note for you about these 10 new features. So be sure to look at that as we put things out to you that we want you to see in real time. We'll put them in that little chat bubble there so you can see it as you log in and click on it, because it'll be an easy way for us to communicate with you directly without having to, again, email you a 5001 email for the week. So make sure you check those little bubbles as you see them come through.
Perfect. All right.
Did you get it
Can
up,
you guys
Jen?
see the iPads? I think I've got the iPad screen up.
We
Yep.
see it. We see it.
But let's see. There we go. That made it a little bit bigger. Okay. We're back in business.
Back in business.
Alrighty. So what we'll go through right now is the quick pay option. So before I go into this, one other update that you guys might want to make yourselves aware of is we released a feature, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago, or no, it was not a week ago, a week ago.
It all runs
So
together.
it does. Let's say that Tiffany logs a procedure and she sends the invoice up for front desk checkout. If I, Victoria, pull that invoice up and if I add a facial cleanser into the cart, I will get credit for adding in the facial cleanser. So whoever adds the item into the cart, it's traced back to your actual user ID, and that's what's tied in for the sales report. So just keep that in mind as you and your staff are kind of managing those different invoices. It does kind of help and it makes things a little bit more seamless, but just kind of keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and do our quick pay option here. So I'm clicking that blue icon at the bottom. So this is what it will look like, but you click that and you click your credit card. And we'll pull up our favorite guy, Josh, here. Okay, so I am now at the checkout screen and I'm going to add one retail item in, and then I'm also going to add Botox in. And we'll do 50 units of Botox and one retail. So let me see here. And I bet you what, I am not using the right version of the app. Me and my 1000 versions here. So give me 1 second.
Quick note on the
Yeah.
whole like adding something to retail and who checks it out. So I actually think that we added this several months ago, but we just didn't talk about it much because, i.e., the COVID crisis happened and then our conference occurred. But the good news is, if let's say that in this case I checked them out, but Victoria's a provider, she also made the recommendation, did all the work, but I just checked them out. In the world today, I would get credit for that retail sale. But when we had it before, it was going to be Victoria always. Whoever started the procedure got all the credit for everything, and so that was an issue. And now this might be an issue as well. But the good news is, no matter how you want to play it, you can go back into your invoice inside of the web dashboard and go into your little sales tab, find the invoice. You can change the name on it always. So if I'm getting credit for her actual work because I checked them out, you can go back into the invoice and just change it back to Victoria and take it off of Tiffany. So it's always configurable, but we just, at the default, let the person who puts it in the cart be the one to get the credit, because it tends to be more accurate than it always being the provider who in the very beginning started the procedure. So just know that you can change it if you want to, but it's just kind of at default set up for you that way. We'll see if she got her app.
All right, we're back in business.
But this is
I have 4 different versions.
Because if you don't update your app, you're going to miss stuff. You got to have them all updated.
You're going to do exactly. Okay, so we're ready to share the iPad screen. Perfect. All right, there we go. So follow that same process that we just went through initially. Now, what you'll notice is when you add, I just added in Juvederm Ultra, clicked on it, added it to the cart. So you'll see this here. It says, I know it's a little bit blurry, but it says swipe to the left to remove from wallet. So if I swipe to the left, I can click this little blue icon to remove it from the wallet. So if the patient was actually getting this done today and we did not need to send this treatment into the wallet for future use, we swipe to the left. Now, let's say that they're just coming in, they're prepaying for a syringe. We just leave it as is. Now, if I add in a retail item as well, you'll notice that the retail item does not have that swipe to the left option. That's because typically speaking, the patient comes in, they're buying that retail item, at the time that they're actually in, and they're potentially saving that syringe of filler for a later date. So what this does is I'll go ahead and check out. So it will tender it out. So it's going to send that syringe of Juvederm Ultra directly to the wallet. And then that retail item, I'm taking it home with me today. So that does not go to the wallet. So take a little look here. So I've got quite a bit of stuff in the wallet, but this first item, I had previously added in 1 syringe, so now I have 2. But very easy, very straightforward, really great if you're using this, at an event, just to kind of speed up the process. So anything else you'd like to add, Tiffany?
No, I think once we have some other new things with inventory variations, it'll be even more important to see how this works as you do your pre-sales for holiday. So just know for now, it's, I think, a really beneficial thing if someone just calls in and says, I want to get Botox 50 units because you have a promo, and it will save a lot of time. So we'll have hopefully either next week or the week after a whole event management webinar that really talks about how to do your events and how to make them really efficient and effective in the system without having to do a lot on the charting and toggling back and forth. And so you'll see some things there. This will come in handy really quickly for that. And I think if we wanted to, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you go. Were you gonna say we should show something else?
Well, I was going to say I am not using my computer today. I'm using someone else's computer, so I can't log into my AR account because I have it saved. So if you wouldn't mind flipping back over to your screen, I just wanted to show the folks where to find that support pin. If you are an admin, how to like turn that on and then where it's at in the system,
Yeah.
just in case we need it.
Yep. Let me pull that up. And then I was going to say while I'm pulling this up too, so we touched on it a little bit earlier, but if you guys have not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, you'll definitely want to, and you can even turn little notifications on for that. So we're uploading all of our YouTube videos there really as a first line. So, if you want to stay up to date with all of the new features, that'll be the best place to utilize that. And let me get this screen shared. Maybe.
Maybe.
All right, it should be loading now. You guys see it?
We're getting there. Yep, we see it.
I'm zooming in for you, so you should be able to see a little better. Okay, so to get to your support pin, you'll click on the settings widget, you'll go to business information, and you'll notice that your support pin is here. And then Tiffany, I believe this pin refreshes every 24 hours, right?
It does, yes, every 24
Or
hours.
okay, perfect.
It's like a token.
So that's where you'll find that.
And
Yep.
in our system, it matches what we see. So I just wanted to make sure that people know about it because in case we have to tell you, I'm so sorry, but I can't help you get the support pin number, then inside of your teammates section under the user controls, it's an actual, it's one of the things you can turn on or check mark for people to be able to see it. So just be sure that if you have your front desk calling us for help, most often that they actually have access to the support pin. And if they do, they'll be able to see this screen in their AR login. But just as we get into holiday season and things get to become really chaotic, as we all know they do, especially now with the added layer of COVID and the chaos of COVID and all the things that we can and can't do, I just want to make sure it does not get lost in the shuffle because we will not help you with sensitive information unless you have this PIN number. So it's to protect you. And then lastly, I think our last thing here to round up, you already mentioned our YouTube channel. Make sure that you guys subscribe to that because we have lots of great content coming out. And as I said, we've got a lot of big things happening next week and the week after, like a lot of really big things. And so if you are not tuned into our Instagram page, I would recommend that definitely to go ahead and be part of our Instagram page. We put a lot of things there as like a first line of defense too. And then of course, webinars the next few weeks. If you don't watch them live, you can watch them on demand. So if you're watching us on YouTube as well right now, we always stream them too. So just try to keep up as best you can. We'll also be sending out newsletters and emails. Our marketplace is getting some replenishment of vendors coming back in with new materials and things. We'll give you a note about that very soon. And if you are part of our conference attendee list, you have until the end of this month to watch your videos. So make sure you do that. We have 51 CME credits up for grabs with our Aesthetic Next videos. Make sure that you're watching those if you want to get those in before October, I believe 30th, Victoria. I think we've extended it a couple days based on the videos being available. So get that done.
Yep. And if you haven't signed up for Aesthetic Next, you still can go to the website, and then the whole conference is on demand. So we're having a lot of people take advantage of that, and the educational content is amazing. So
it is so good. You got to check it out. All right. Anything else we want to do in our last few seconds here?
I think that's everything.
Okay. Well, we will see all of you again at this same time, at this same place next week for our webinar that hopefully will feature some fun new things that we can't wait to show you. So goodbye from Dallas. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye from Columbus. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.